all the pens were the exact same colour, so nothing was able to sort of be located with ease, basically. So changing pen colours, I was like, oh, great idea. But then I just used all the different pen colours on every page anyway, so it made no difference. So yeah, the upgrade to the notepads was definitely great for this year. So I know you're going into Garment Engineering 1. This is my hefty file, which is basically a lowdown of everything we did with samples, like step-to-step guides. So I'll just get out one as an example. I'll get out a fun one to show you guys. Gosh, this takes me back. Okay, that was good. So an example is, so it's all digitally now, so it looks way better. But on each page, I've put images of the, take it out of the packaging. So you've got step-by-step instructions one side, and then you've got small diagrams. Note-taking in class, so crucial. Even if it's just like tiny notes, they might not make sense like in the moment, but to have those little key points is great. Sketching, really good, which then gives you like step-by-steps again, which you can refer back to. And always keep a hold of your pattern pieces and your samples all in the same wallet. So when the tutors and people marking it are looking through, everything's in one section, and it's really easy to navigate, basically. Each week, I remember there being almost the tasks themselves were quite set. So you can structure your tasks very easily to each week. Looking back on it anyway, I can see that. I didn't see it at the time, which is quite funny. I think I've overcomplicated it, and now I can just simplify by looking back. So each week you will be asked to make a sample, do the instructions, do the pattern pieces. You know, there's all these tasks that you can just say, okay, I'll do one each day and follow it. Always keep on top of your videos. Keep in contact with the tutors and your classmates a lot, because if you're all struggling on the same thing and one person kind of can help, it's really nice to be able to sort of feel community with all of you if you do really need help. And the tutors are great. Sue's brilliant. Like her extensive knowledge is unreal.
I mean, Sue isn't the only tutor in this.
You'll see, like, her knowledge on all things sewing is so informative, and honestly, she's great. She'll be such an asset to you if you ask her the questions, you know. So I suppose that's kind of how I structured last year. So the upgrade to this year is the whiteboard you guys can see. I suppose I'll walk through it. So I used to have up here the grid forms for the first 6 weeks. I had a grid form up there, and I was like, right, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to look at this critical path. And I think like what works for you is what you should really work with. So if grid doesn't work and lists work, do that and work it really well for yourself. Really focusing on that kind of area if that's what really works for you. Just trying to relearn how to do something when you're in the midst of a module is hard. That's what I tried to do with the critical path in my first year, and it didn't work. So I'll sort of get up and I'll give a run through of what I now do. So each module has a section up the top which I put lists in. These small papers are the summative assessment criteria. So each week I can look up there, I know what's going on, and this one's formative, but I've done formative for the other ones, so that's gone. And a formative with the criteria. So as I say, each week run through it and know what you're doing. I've got the top half of my weekly calendar as day and the top bottom half as night. I'll always put in my lectures, or if I've got any webinars or stuff like this, that sort of goes in there. And each task, it gets delegated to the day and either day or night. So I can look at each one, they're all coded, and I can look at my lists and I know where they are. And then obviously a little tiny section for just scrappy notes, things that I need to do. And as I go through each one, I'll make sure I take them off the list, take them off schedule, and it just keeps me on track basically. And then as a secondary, I also have a very small whiteboard, which is my daily list. So I'll make sure I look up, save me again looking through the lists up there. I'll put my day schedule here with my lectures and the time slots that I need to do things. That little whiteboard kind of just saves a day really, because like up there it is quite chaotic, especially when I'm writing notes, which again, you can just, if you want to make extensive notes, just put them in the notepads, but then you can always have a secondary place to simplify them. So it's again, going through the notepads sort of gets eliminated. I suppose that's what's helping me this year. Like I haven't fallen behind once this year. I think I'm ahead. I'm actually cramming 7 days worth of work sometimes into 2 or 3 days because of the simplification of each task. If you really take them down to the bare minimum, you can work at a really fast pace, definitely. I think that's also a tip, is do not overcomplicate things, because garment engineering is all about the structure you're making. It's not about the design of it. It's knowing that you understand each process. So if you've got something you're like, oh, I want to do this crazy thing, it's not just so you don't push too much in certain areas. You've always got the design modules to let that absolutely free. But in these technical modules, it's really each one and showing that you've understood it and all the processes behind it. That's basically the main thing for garment engineering 1, I think.
So, Amelia, what happened when you and I both know what happened, but you were flailing, you were struggling, and one day you came to me and said, I've discovered this amazing thing called a calendar, and I've started plugging stuff into it. What did that do to your mental health?
Oh, I mean, I think before that I was breaking down weekly because I was trying to keep everything in my mind. That was the worst bit, is if you're thinking about all the things you've got to do all the time, it has a massive toll on your mental health. You get very stressed, very anxious, because you're like, how am I going to get all these things done? But writing them down and really preparing and putting them into calendars means that you can visualize it rather than just think it. Because visualizing things is way easier in a sense, because it's all out of your mind then. It's all in a list and you go, oh, look, okay, it's not that bad. There's only 7 things, but my head made it feel like 100. I think that's what we can all, I suppose, fall short of doing, is definitely overcomplicating things when things are, a lot easier than they seem.
Thank you, Amelia. Does anyone have any questions for Amelia about surviving fashion engineering? Oh, they're a very quiet bunch, Amelia.
We were when we first started. Now you can't shut us up.
Anyone that got anything at all?
I've got my entire file here. Do you want to know anything about the file and how to do anything with it? Steve, Amelia, they must know everything.
Sorry?
I was just joking. I was like, they must know everything.
They must know everything. That's right. We've uncovered a few things already this morning that maybe they didn't know. But okay, everyone's good? Everyone's happy?
I mean...
Okay, I mean, I'd be asking questions like, hey, Amelia, what's the one tip you can give these guys to make sure they don't bomb out in the next 6 weeks?
Persevere is epic. I love everything about second year. I have 0 complaints. It is so cool. You get to finally, like, this is all about like learning how to target a consumer this year and really working to briefs that are given to you. But then second year, you're allowed to go, who do I want to create for? Who do I want to be? And it's just so awesome. Like, I love every single day when I'm in uni. I love every day anyway, because I'm just ridiculously optimistic now, thanks to the calendar. But it literally is the calendar and timekeeping. I've not had one breakdown yet, Steve.
Well, then I'm not allowed to keep list anymore of who has breakdowns anyway, Amelia. So like it's depressing. But I've got my list from last year, and you're on it a lot.
I know. Yeah, I am. It's good to see the change.
Any questions at all? Retag.
I wanted to ask you how she deals with the stress.
Okay, did you hear that?
No, it was very quiet.
Yeah, that's okay. Retag wants to know. Wave. Yeah, she wants to know how you deal with.
Okay. How do I? I make sure if I feel like I'm overworking and I'm about to, I'm reaching that point of exhaustion, I stop. I never push myself. I don't beat myself up for taking days off either, because those crucial days off just completely reset your mind. Really, it's so. It is testing to go into this sort of like, it's like a high-paced sort of atmosphere. So to take those times to remove yourself from that are really vital. I really urge you all to at least do not work through the night. I did. I worked extensively. Sometimes I'd start at 9 a.m. and I wouldn't finish till 12 at night. I was on it too much, and it was too much. And I did suffer because of the fact I didn't have, managed time. So definitely take time off when you need it. Sleep really well. Do not skip like that extra hour. It makes a massive difference. Wake up with a reasonable time. Make sure you eat well. Drink loads of water, because I nearly fainted so many times from dehydration in that studio. You might not think it now because you say you're cold, but once everyone's up moving, it is very, very warm in there. So always have a bottle of water with you as well. That will deal with stress.
Okay.
Have I answered properly? Do you want is that? Can I give anything else?
We take the answer properly.
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything? Abigail? Okay, so Abigail's really loud, so I'm sure you heard her, but just to reiterate, she asked, how do you plan for the different modules? Actually, Abby, do you want to give us a wave? That's her there.
Hello. How do I plan for each module? Okay, so I've just literally unpacked one of my briefs today. Actually, it was Friday, I lied. So I unpack every module. As soon as the brief's available, I'm on it. I always get my definition, parameters, specifications, and scope for creativity. You'll obviously, in this first year, learn a lot about how to find those within the brief. And then second year, it's a lot easier to locate them throughout. I always make those lists, and I ensure that I've got my formative and summative checklists written down, because you can't really rely on digital forms a lot of the time. Like I'm having a situation where I could lose the laptop, so having it in a written format is great. And always, I suppose, looking at the tasks, and if you've got the weekly schedules available online, go through those. If there's learning materials, make sure you go through those as well. Look at the supplies you'll always need and keep them on you all the time when you're at uni. Those are main things. What else do I do? Make sure I get my schedule up. Make sure I get my formative dates set up on my board and my summative dates and kind of the time frame that I've got. And just start from the research point, really. Research the brief and see what it asks and go from there.
So, Amelia, do you work backwards in the sense that you do your long-term planning? This is what has to be done in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and then your medium term. This is what's done by the end of the week, and then this.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that, I think. I know that the end goal, right at the beginning, I used the first kind of 1 to 2 weeks to look at probably the first week to look at the end goal and really understand what the brief is asking. And then I look at weekly, because I think once I see it all in a massive thing, and if I had 6 weeks up there, it's a lot to try and plan. But if you set small goals to meet each day, each week, you're always making progress then. If you, as I say, if you need to skip a day, it's fine. But if, as long as you, make sure you keep all the tasks in time with that week that you're meeting everything, I think that's the best sort of policy.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? Amy. Hang on.
Hi. Oh, the mask.
How did you set up your sketchbook for this module?
So Amy's asking, how did you set up your sketchbook for this module? So I assume she means your resource folder. Is that what
My resource folder. So each week I have. It looks like a lot, okay. But a lot of it is
pretty small to me, but
for a first year looking
you
at this.
Put more notes in there.
Oh my goodness, what on earth? That's 6 weeks. But yeah, once you've finished it, it's really it does feel great. So each week, obviously, there were different tasks, and ensuring that I had week 1 and week 2. But in each one, it's exactly the same. I've got a construction of what method that we did, so step-by-step construction information and sketches to show that. Obviously, you can do it online now, so it will come out a lot nicer than my tiny little sketches. So I'd say put a step-by-step as well with diagrams showing each one. I suppose that's that for that.
Can you hold up your folder, and can we see like a couple of just a spread, a 2-page spread on it?
They're all kind of right. Can everyone see this? It's terrible to do this. I'm going to bring it all in tomorrow anyway for the other first years. So you can see my little diagrams. I hope you can.
Yeah, we can see.
With all the instructions, and then behind you'll have my sample with, if there were things that went wrong, reflect on the things that went wrong, and if you have time to make another sample, make it and show that you've learned from that. That's really crucial as well. Critical analysis of your steps and showing that you understand where things need to be changed. Again, this is a placket, so that has got the sample and the pattern in the back. Again, based opening, same sort of thing. The bodice block dart manipulations all in here, like so. I'm really trying to make sure this is all on screen, but I'm not sure if it's also in reflective packaging.
No, it's all good.
So yeah, that's kind of, I mean,
like you see, it doesn't have to be fancy in any way, but what we have is really clear. It's really clear. So you've got a double page spread. One side has a sample, the other side has the instructions with your sketches, and then you might flip it over and have a new sample and a reflection, for example, or something like that. So it's all in kind of one place. Look at that, fabric weaving exercises. Was that a fun day?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's my old weaves. That's so weird. It is quite strange and surreal looking back through this, thinking how far, like all our second years have come from doing this kind of stuff, and now we're constructing things that I never even imagined I'd know how to, all thanks to that module.
So what are you working on now?
I'm currently working on, I call it my head coffin. So it's a 3D printed and vacuum packed warbler head coffin, which will encase around the entire face, a trench coat and gauntlets to match.
I think traditionally we call what you're saying is a head coffin a hat. But
no, it's not, because it's if you know, like drag subculture, they have a thing called face bikinis, but those are usually like really tight. But I'm making this a big 3D head sculpture, and it's going to have like hinges and clasps and stuff.
How very strange. That's wonderful of you. Okay. Does anyone have any more questions for Amelia? Amelia, can these guys follow you on Instagram?
Of course. You've already made it aware that my handle is actually really hard to find, so I'm going to double check if I changed it for you guys.
Change it overnight.
What?
I'm becoming more and more grumbly in my old age.
You don't.
Starting off your Instagram handle with underscores is ridiculous.
It won't let me do anything else.
Okay, so what is your Instagram name?
2 underscores and then FYFFF__.
Yes, of
which
course.
is
two underscores FYFF underscore.
3 F's. 5. How can you...
Okay, start again at the beginning and say it to us.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to change this.
Well, they've all got their phones out, you see, and they're all confused. Okay.
Well, some people have found me. Love that. See, it's just your old age, as you say. Yeah, so it's 2 underscores FYFFF underscore.
Okay.
And
2 underscores FYFF. F. Okay. Good.
Honestly, I am open for every question you want to throw at me. Honestly, I'll do my best to answer as much as I can. So I'm only here for a few more minutes. So if I can help.
Any last questions? One last one. Okay. They're experts.
I'm not.
Thank you very much, Amelia. Can I have
That's okay. Thank you.
And have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy your work.
Yeah, and good luck, guys. And just get really fun.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.